Good morning. My name is Tom. Let's have a cup of coffee this morning. I got some things I want to talk about. I'm rethinking a lot of stuff that I have held true and fast to for my entire life. One of them is just my go bag. I'm kind of rethinking everything that I kind of thought needed, could use, and could make a living with if the crap hit the fan in the country, or just plain my survival bag. So I guess more than a go bag, I'm kind of rethinking my survival bag. So that's what today's video is about. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Alright, in the intro to this, I talked about my survival bag and how I'm kind of rethinking it. I am almost 60 years old, so my survival bag has gone through many changes over the years. When I was younger, I carried a lot less for a lot of reasons. One is I was younger and I could take on the world and really didn't think things through. You know, as far as long-term survival, stuff like that. Kind of by the seat of your pants, kind of going. You know how it is when you're younger. And as, you know, then you get into your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and everything kind of changes. For me, it changed when I got married and had a kid. So at that point, when my daughter was born, I knew I had to travel safer and make sure I made it out of the woods in one piece. So that really changed the way that I looked at my survival situation at that point, because I've always hunted the same woods. You know, I've always hunted in big pieces of woods. Nothing to be in 100 square miles of woods here in the state of Maine. And I've been doing that since I was a young boy. Or ice fishing on the biggest lakes in the state. During the coldest parts of the winter. You know, be out ice fishing when it's 20 below zero, or 10 or 15 below zero. That was no big deal back then. So as I've grown, so has my survival bag. And getting to it, you know, I've always thought if I had a gun, now this is a 22 single shot, this is a great small game gun. I've never been in the forest without a gun. Just, that's the way it is. Same thing with some of the other stuff here I got laid out on the table. One of the other things I don't go in the woods in is without my hunting knife. Now this is a 3-bladed knife. I've got a saw blade for making Maya dust for campfire, stuff like that. I don't really think it's good for cutting wood. I've got a skinning blade. It's the hook blade. And then you've got, of course, your regular knife. And I carry a couple of these. I have another one right here, exactly the same thing. Nothing special about these knives. They don't cost a lot of money. I've had this one for the longest. I lost this one winter. And then my wife felt so bad, she went and bought this one. So that's why I have 2 of them. In the spring, when the snow melted, I went back to where I was hunting, and I found it. I was happy to come into it again. And of course I always carry a bigger hunting knife. I don't carry the big huge knives that people think we need nowadays. I just don't carry those. And I do carry a small saw that I think is really good for helping with getting your tinders and all that for your fire. It makes it handy. Especially getting fat wood, stuff like that. That's what I mainly use that saw for. So basically what you're seeing is what's probably in just about everybody's survival kit. Same thing, I always have 2 compasses on me. I always have a multi-purpose tool. I just think that they're handy. I do keep a half a dozen pieces of inner tube. This is just an inner tube chopped up into a couple of inches. And the reason I do that is you can build a fire anywhere, anytime, under any circumstances with this piece of inner tube. And I don't have it here at the table, but I always carry a lighter too. It's a flint and steel lighter, but you should, you know, it's great to have all this other stuff. I always, 99% of the time, I build a fire with a ferro rod because I enjoy it. I like it. I get a kick out of that. But if we're in a survival situation, you've got to be fast sometimes. You need something that's going to work. And that's where a lighter comes into handy. Or I have some of those storm matches. I mean, this is a survival kit. We're not out there camping for the day and all that. You might be in a situation in this state where you really do have to get a fire built. And I always keep a rope with me. Now, it's not necessarily for building a shelter. There's lots of stuff out in the wilderness here in the state of Maine to build a shelter with. But if I shoot a bear or I shoot a deer, I want something that I can haul that deer around with, or get it out of the woods or whatever. So I always carry 10, 12 feet of rope. Same thing with getting a deer hung up in a tree or up or a bear or something like that off the ground. That's why I carry that. Luxury, I do throw in, I got this cheap tape. Comes in handy. And it doesn't weigh anything, but it's just always in my bag. I'm going to do a little plug here from my Patreon channel. I know a lot of people, doesn't seem like they like these little plugs, because in the little graph that I've got that shows how you people are watching my videos, the minute I say Patreon, it goes whoo, right downhill. Well, whoa, don't do that. Stay here for a minute. The Patreon channel is the channel where I can put everything that I can't put on YouTube. I can go into more detail about guns and just everything I can put onto the Patreon channel. That's the only reason that I've started the Patreon channel. Also, there's some free stuff there. Now, what I mean by free is stuff that's open to the public. I do both there, so that if you come visit, it's not a wasted visit. So come on over and visit the Patreon channel. It won't be a waste of your time. There is some stuff there that is open to the public. Enjoy the videos I'm putting up there. I just want you to come take a peek at something else that I am working on to be able to share. I just want to be able to share everything that I have done in my life over the last 50 years of being an outdoorsman and a sportsman here in the state of Maine. So let's get back to the video. This is the gun that I carry. Or this one, or a 12 gauge shotgun, looks similar to this for gathering food and all of that. And the other thing that I carry, this is my survival gun. This is a 44 Magnum. You can see that's quite a barrel. And there's the bullets for it. If I'm in the point where I need a big gun out in the bush, I want a big gun out in the bush. I want a big pistol. This is for food, this is for protection. Now, one of the things that's changed my mind about everything that I've showed you so far is most of you know that I am, this year, I went through the classes to get my trapping license and all of that, and I have been building up this shop that you see behind me, building up the trap shop and getting everything prepared for trapping season, which begins at the end of October here. Well, I guess early season is October 17th. So I've been building up towards that. And this has been going on for about 4 months now. I have been building towards this trap line. And we're calling it the trap line that YouTube viewers built, because I've had a lot of great things donated to the trap line. One is a couple of these traps right here. This is a beaver trap. This is a number 4 jump trap. So stuff like that has been donated behind me. I've got some, this was donated by Bart, and this right here was donated. These are 110s, conibear traps. I had these donated to me from Kevin Smith. He's another viewer on the channel. Just can't thank you guys enough for your donations to this. But getting on to these traps. You know, when you hunt and all of that, and I've been a hunter my entire life, and that's why I'm rethinking my survival kit, my survival bag, my go bag, whatever you want to call it. I just call it everyday carry, because I'm usually on a snowmobile, or I'm usually on a 6-wheeler or a 4-wheel drive pickup. I'm usually close by a piece of equipment that can help carry a little extra gear anyways. But even if you was on foot, you could still carry some of this stuff. You just might not want to carry it all. Now, one of the things that I really am thinking about, and it's gone beyond thinking about, is my day bag has never had one of these in it. This is a coil spring trap. And this right here is a 110 conibear. I'm thinking from this point forward, definitely this 110 conibear is going to be in my go bag, in my survival bag. If you're in a survival situation, especially in the winter time, putting this in a rabbit run. Now, I used to trap rabbits. I trapped rabbits for 25 years. I ran approximately between 25 and 30 live rabbit traps. And I did that for years and years and years. I did it for 2 weeks in the month of February. And in that 2 weeks, I would literally catch 60, 70 rabbits in that 2-week window. Now, that's a video all by itself, all that. But if you were out there and you were in a survival situation, your snowmobile's broke down, you're a long ways from help, it would take absolutely nothing to put this on a rabbit run. And especially in the wintertime. Rabbit runs are narrow, sometimes they're deep. They always go through little, like fir trees that just have these little windows, especially if you're in a spruce thicket, stuff like that. So you would have these, just these perfect places to put this trap. And it takes nothing. I mean, you don't have to carry any bait with you. The only thing you'd want to do is tie this to a tree. It's got a piece of chain on it. You know, you can use anything. You got that rope could tie this to the tree for a rabbit. So then this could go in the trail, and you'd have yourself a rabbit. Now, it's illegal to trap rabbits, but if you're in a survival situation, a lot of that stuff goes out the window because it's more important for you to survive. You can deal with the law when you get home or whatever, but one of these folded up in the bottom of your day bag doesn't take up that much room. That's why this is going to get added to my survival gear. Guaranteed. Now, I never even thought about stuff like this before I got into the trapping. And so it's nothing. Learning a new skill sometimes also changes the way that you think. And that's what's kind of happening to me right now. By learning all this trapping. And if you're a young fella that's a hunter and a fisherman and all that, think about this. Think about taking up trapping. Because hunting, you have to be in the woods, on site, ready to shoot. This thing can be hunting 24/7. You could be sitting back at your campfire, warming yourself while your trap is out hunting. Perfect. This is another. Now I can't put this in my pack, but I'm going to guarantee you that this thing is going to be in my snowmobile. It's going to be on my four-wheeler. Now from this point forward, this is definitely going to be in my pack. This 110 Columbia. I mean, it'll catch a raccoon, it'll catch a rabbit, it'll catch a skunk, anything, squirrels, red squirrels, gray squirrels, anything that'll stick its head in there, you've got. And you can put a piece of bait on it. I mean, if you're out there and you find an apple, or you find anything that you could stick on here that would entice a squirrel, go for it. Especially a gray squirrel. Gray squirrel, lots of food on a gray squirrel. So this is definitely part of my everyday carry from now on. Whereas before I took up trapping, this wasn't even on the radar. And this is another trap. Now again, if you want to, I don't know how much these things weigh together, but you could put this in your pack as well. Especially if, you guys can figure that out. But this trap right here, if you had even just this one in your trap, especially in the summertime, and a little bit of tin foil. Now most people carry a little tin foil for cooking, stuff like that. But you could set this trap, and you see right there, that's a plate. I mean, that's the trigger, and this is the dog. So on this plate right here, trap pan is what it's actually called, you can wrap that trap pan in tin foil. Shiny side out. If you look at tin foil, one side's dull, one side's shiny. Shiny side out, wrap just this pan. Wrap it in tin foil. Set it, and then go, if you're close to a brook, close to a stream, which here in Maine, that's pretty regular, walk that stream a little ways. Look for some raccoon sign. And when you see some raccoon sign, where the raccoons are coming down to the water, whether to wash their hands or wash their food or whatever, place this trap in about 4 inches of water, underwater. And what's going to happen is the water running over that tin foil, it's going to flicker. It's going to flicker around, especially at night if the moon is out or whatever. And that raccoon, he's going to reach down in there and he's going to try to get that. Now I used to raise turkeys a long time ago. Used to have 36 turkeys every year. Turkeys liked shiny things. If they were shiny, the turkey would go for it. So maybe, now I'm not saying this will work, but I'm going by raising 36 turkeys here for several years. Maybe if you had this set up on dry land, a turkey might go for that shiny thing as well. Aluminum foil. So this right here, again, it's illegal to trap a turkey. But if we're talking survival, maybe you'd show up at your trap and there'd be a wild turkey in it. You never know. I'm just going by, I can't imagine a wild turkey. They might be smart, but I ain't never seen a turkey that was that smart. They might think that shiny thing is something to eat. And you might be able to find something you could put on there anyways. Anything that would catch their attention. Now I'm going to do a video later on how to make these traps legal in the state of Maine. But I'm not, this one I'm sure is getting way too long now. But, so, I mean, that's just kind of rethinking the way that I look at my day bag as well as my survival bag. So you can see here, this is a number 4. I didn't get into this, did I? This is a number 4 jump trap for beaver. That's why I'm gonna, I mean, this would be good summer, winter, and fall. And beaver season is in this state, you can beaver trap all winter. But what you do with this trap is you find where the beavers are going up on shore. You'll find like their little foot tracks. You know, not their foot tracks, but their, you know, the beaver slides that you see. And then you'll find little mounds half the size of a basketball, if not the size of a basketball. And they call those castor mounds. So you set this thing down in the water where on a little shelf where the beaver's got to step on it to get up onto the shore. To either smell the castor mound or whatever. You could put some popple tree up there where he wants to come and investigate it. But this trap is big so that if you miss the front foot, it'll catch the back foot. And you could have yourself a 20-pound beaver. In a survival situation, that's a pretty good deal. And that is why I'm rethinking all of this, what I have in my day bag or in my day possession that that is handy. And I'm going to go down this road even further. I just know I'm running out of time with this video. And I'm going to explain other areas in the woods where this could be very useful. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next week.